What's up YouTube, it's Matthew here. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about how to qualify your wholesale real estate leads in your business. So if you all find value from this video, be sure to like, subscribe, comment down below, follow me on Instagram at bizmatthew. If you have any specific detailed questions that I can answer, please reach out to me over there. So in wholesaling real estate, you come across leads. Leads are just prospects, people that you can potentially do business with. And in regards to wholesaling, leads are people that you can potentially put them under contract in order to sell to your cash buyers. Those are leads. So you can get leads from websites like PropStream if you're interested in a free 7-day trial. Use my link down below. Or you can drive around for dollars looking for distressed properties that you can put down on your phone and call them later, or send out some sort of marketing device over to them in order to put them under contract. There's different ways to get leads. You can get them through realtors, you can get them through Facebook groups, you can get them through social media, different ways that you can get leads. When you get a lead, so for example, let's say you pull a list from PropStream. Let's just say landlords or people who are in pre-foreclosures. Whatever the category is, you can reach out to that person. So eventually you're going to have to talk to that person, usually over the phone before you meet them in person. You're going to have a conversation with them. And I've been having a lot of questions from you all on Instagram, like, is this a lead, Biz Matthew? Is this something that I should go for? Is this something that we can possibly JV with? And like the prospect, the lead is just not a motivated seller. I just really want to break down 5 different motivating factors or 5 different qualifications a seller should have in order that you can go forward with following up with them or even setting up an appointment in order to get them under contract. All right, so the first qualification when you're dealing with sellers over the phone or in person is price. The reason why I start off with price is that lately I've been getting a lot of comments from you all on my YouTube videos and DMs on Instagram about, hey, Biz Matthew, this seller wants this amount of money for their house. And then I look up the address and this price is so much more higher than even Zillow estimate, and also the property is not in the best of shape. And so I really want to break down, like, you all, if your seller is asking for a super high price for their property, they're probably not qualified as a lead in your follow-up system, in your CRM system. So you can either like save that lead to call them in a year later, but don't make that a hot or warm lead that you need to follow up with every single week or every single day or even every month. You know, you have to move on, go to your better qualified leads. And I know with this market and everything, housing prices are up. People are seeing prices on Zillow, on Redfin about their houses. And so they think their property is worth more than what it actually is worth. I think a lot of that is due to the condition of their property, right? I think a lot of times people don't understand like how not up to date their property is. Like, yeah, it might be okay to you to live in, but to put it on market is probably not the best deal. And so in order to qualify your seller, you have to make sure they quote you a good price. Like, let's say I'm talking to a seller and they give me a price that's a little bit lower than market value. I know I qualified this lead as either a follow-up or to set up an appointment, right? Even if they quote a price at market value, that is something that I can consider. And by the way, you all, I'm mostly talking about strict cash wholesale deals. Like if you're doing creative financing, you can buy properties at market value or a little bit more if you're able to either get seller financing, do lease options, or do some sort of sub-2 on the deal. But I'm talking about wholesale real estate cash deals, assigning contracts. So the first qualification is price. So the second qualification I want to talk about when you are considering whether this is a lead or not is openness. And I know openness is a little bit different. You probably haven't heard any other wholesaler or people on social media talk about this trait in sellers, but I noticed the more open a seller is, the more motivated they are to sell their property. I'm not talking about like, oh, they have to be an extrovert or anything like that, but they're open to tell you why they're looking to sell. They're very detailed or descriptive about their condition of their property, and openness in a way where you can actually go view their property. Because I was talking to the seller one time and I just could never get an appointment to see their property. They weren't opening their home to me, and to me that showed me they weren't really motivated to sell. They were not qualified as a lead in my wholesale real estate business. Now, of course, there are some people where you may need to follow up for a year. That can be a little bit tricky, just knowing, okay, when is this person actually going to open themselves to me? Usually early on, I just let them know, hey, I'm here. I may follow up in a few more months, but it seems like right now, you know, you're not comfortable with me being at your house or sharing this information with me. But when you are, you can always reach out. But anyways, I'll reach out in a few more months. That's another qualification that you all have to look at when you're talking with your sellers, is how open they are with you. Now, the third qualification is urgency. You guys probably heard about this, like how soon does this person want to sell their property, right? And the sooner they want to sell the property, the more motivated they usually are. If they don't really know when they want to sell, or if they just want to get a number and they're fine with just staying put at where they're at, they're not motivated to sell. So urgency is number 3 in order to qualify your seller lead. Now, the fourth qualification is also a little bit different. You probably haven't heard this from another YouTuber, another wholesaler on social media, but it's about plans. Does the seller have plans, concrete plans, detailed plans on what they want to do after they sell their property? Usually in my wholesale deals, either the seller say, yeah, I already have a place, I already bought a place, or I'm going to rent right after selling this property. I'm going to use the money for a down payment. Or if they're a landlord, you know, they already have a house and so they just need to sell this property. Or if a seller is just living at another house, living with a family member, and want to sell a property that they have. Usually I qualify my leads to see, okay, hey, once you sell this property, what are you going to do afterwards? Like, do you have detailed concrete plans on what you want to do afterwards, right? And that really helps me gauge their motivation, because the more detailed their plans are, the more motivated to me they are. And that's what I noticed in my experience with dealing with sellers. I remember I was dealing with a seller and they didn't know what they wanted to do after selling their property. Yeah, they had some interest in selling their property, but they never gave me concrete details on when they want to sell their property. So yeah, and I think going back to following up with people, I think that's another follow-up. You can follow up with every few months. It may take a year because there are some sellers, some properties that you just need to follow up with for a few more months or even a year, especially if the spread is super large. Yeah, take your time with that lead and that follow-up. If they do need time to find a house afterwards, you know, it may take them a year to find a property or find another place to live, and just keep on following up with them. But usually I notice my deals, if they're motivated, whenever I can close within a month or 2, they have plans together after selling their property. Now, the fifth and final qualification for your seller leads is motivation. Now, we all know motivation. Like, why does this seller want to sell? What is the reasoning behind it? Because motivation to me is the backbone behind everything. It's the backbone behind price. Why are you wanting to sell? Oh, I want to buy a property, or I want to move to Florida. Okay, I need this price in order to Florida. The condition of the property, right? And then you learn about the condition of the property. I just don't want to take care of this property. You know, I don't want to deal with the repairs. I'm tired of owning this property. Motivation to me is like the foundation. It's the skeleton of a wholesale deal, because everything picks on that motivation, right? And so to me, that's probably the greatest way to qualify a seller, to see why they are selling. If it's a landlord, they just want to clear out their properties, or they're done dealing with tenants, you know, they will do that. Why do you want to sell your property? If there's no motivation, there's no real, I guess, legit reason why they want to sell their property, then usually you can unqualify that lead. Like, okay, this person didn't give me a reason why they wanted to sell. And you have to move on to more qualified leads, to more motivated leads, to more people who told you why they want to sell. Concentrate more on those leads. All right, you all, so that was just 5 quick qualifications for your leads, how to qualify your leads, and what are the qualifications in order to move forward with a wholesale real estate deal with a specific seller. I hope you all learned a lot from this video and learned from my experience dealing with sellers in this wholesale real estate game. And I hope you all found value from it. So be sure to like this video, subscribe, comment down below, and I'll talk to you all later. Peace.